Do you trust your drawings? Well, I certainly don't after I started playing Bendy and the Ink Machine. Bendy and the Ink Machine is a horror game where a retired animator returns to his old studio to discover that the ink that he used to draw these characters have come to life. Now, I've been playing this game for a while, and I think it's finally time for me to do a theory. Also, have the perfect subject. There's a new game coming out, hopefully soon. I mean, we said in 2020. It's called Bendy and the Dark Revival. I want to make some predictions for what this game will turn up. I know it's kind of random and something I've never done in the channel, but I think it's a good start since I've already covered some old video games. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to say a big spoiler alert for the first game, not for the second game though. Now this game should be divided into 3.5 sections. One, I'll discuss the story and how the lore will end up. Another, where I look at the gameplay. Sorry if you can hear some noise, by the way. Another, where I look at the gameplay, and another where I look at the graphics, since that's kind of what I do. Anyway, let's get on with it. Part 1, the story. Now, story-wise, I wrote in the script that we don't know much about this, but once I started listing the points, I realized I was so wrong. We actually have a surprising amount of information on this game. So here's what we do know. The game will have a new protagonist named Audrey. We don't know much about her. Looking at her model, she appears to be a young woman, but she has glowing eyes. Similar to the Lost Ones in the first game, also seem to be reappearing in the second game. She also has a glowing hand. I'll talk more about this later, but the glow of her hand and her eyes matches with the secret messages in the first game. Now, that could mean she is leaving the messages. There's also a little Easter egg where one of the messages has a little spiral and it says, trust her. So, now, one thing, I don't have much to say about this, but one thing that I do know, a lot of people think, at least what I've seen, people seem to assume, and it's pretty easy to assume, that, I haven't seen many theories, Audrey is not being turned into an Alice Angel clone, according to me. Because while she's a female character and it's easy to assume that, Joey was using the ink machine, sacrificing her to that and turning her into an Alice Angel clone, but she's not quite there yet. I don't think so. Because if you look at the Alice Angel clones, Allison Angel and the Susie Campbell, maybe twisted Monster Alice, you look at them, they share a lot of traits with the original Alice. Yeah, so they don't have the exaggerated hose sort of eyes, but they do. If you look at their bodies, they do share similarities. You see the bow tie, the black dress. Also, if you look at the hair in Allison, looking at Audrey, she doesn't even vaguely resemble. She's a female character, sure, but she does not resemble Alice. This leads me to believe that while she is definitely some kind of creature, maybe a different character, but she's not supposed to be an Alice clone. Now, the second thing we know is that there are a bunch of more things we know. We know that back in some old Dark Revival merch, there was, this was when it was still in set for 2019. We saw Bendy, and he had a much more interesting look to him with like double teeth, so he can actually talk now. I'll talk more about this later. We also see that the Butcher Gang is absolutely everywhere in the marketing for some reason. I have no idea. They might even be some of the first enemies we encounter. Another thing we also know, we're in the same studio. We just see it in the thing. And also, interesting fact, if you look at this scene that I'll hopefully put on screen, if you look carefully, this is actually in the giant ink machine. It doesn't quite match it, but it's pretty similar as far as I can see. Like, if you look at the way the floor is, the long walls, the large ink puddle here, and the wall at the back, it looks like that same area. Now, the next thing we know about the story is that there is some element of choice. We do get to choose a little bit. We don't know how much about it, but in the old trailer, Allison says,
"You may walk with angels or cower before demons.
And
one thing always remains: the choices you make."
Now, this makes sense with the spiral and the heart that we see. Maybe we can eat those hearts to grow the spiral. Now, if you notice in the trailer, in the old trailers, which takes place early in the game, perhaps her spiral is missing. But the more of the spiral you unlock, the more abilities and more powers you unlock. But you also start thinking dark about. I'll get to that in the gameplay section. Also, yes, Allison is back. Now, another thing. Neither a sequel or a prequel. This game is neither of those. Despite it seems like a Bendy and the Ink Machine 2, it's actually, according to Mike Mood, not a sequel and also not a prequel. So now this could either be a side story, or what I'm personally more stuck to is the fact that it's kind of a sequel and a prequel. So it starts before Bendy and ends after Bendy. So it's kind of acts as both. Now, it could be... Now, he does say it's something more complex. That's perhaps true. We'll have to kind of see. Maybe it's something specific. And also, if the theory that Henry... There are some theories I've seen online about that by Super Horror Bro, Matt Pat from Game Theory. Those are some theories you should check out. If the theory that Henry is in an infinite loop, if that's correct, then this could be another iteration of the loop. And that's what they're talking about. So maybe it's the 414th one. Why 414? Well, I'm glad you asked. That's because the next point is the fact that there's something to do with the number 414. It's used for releasing trailers and info for Dark Revival. It's also the tally marks in the secret message in Chapter 1 add up to 414. April 14th is kind of 414 day, Bendy day. It's also a day I'm trying to get this video out. So so hopefully this video is released on April 14th. Check below if it is. Anyway, we do know we have a new mysterious character.
A pretty girl like you shouldn't be wandering around all by yourself. How very interesting. Such knowledge.
There is a new character. Some theorize this might be Bendy. Others say it might be the character referenced on this audio log that I'll play it for you.
There's crazy things happening down here. Monsters, demons, but there's more. There's a secret hiding in the shadows. I just feel like I'm being watched. There's something at work here.
I don't know if you heard that, but should have hopefully have remembered to play it. This could be Sammy he's talking about, or maybe even a cancelled character that was going to appear in Chapter 5 but never end up. I think that this voice might... I don't have much faith in it, but I think it might be the Ink Machine. Like, isn't that an interesting theory? Like, it's the Ink Machine coming to life. It is, however, this is likely a new character. I talked about him before. I don't think this game will center around this character, but he'll definitely be important. I think he'll be kind of someone else. I have a bunch more ideas for this story, by the way, but I don't get time to cover them all in the video. Now, we do know that the story will be a lot darker, but Meatley did say that it's not crazy disgusting. So we might see some horrifying, darker things, but it won't be, like, outright disgusting. So, here's my summary and my idea of the full story. Audrey is sacrificed to the Ink Machine and reawakens in the studio. Realizing she's special, with the Butcher Gang in the trailer, she now has to choose whether to use this for good or bad, to set everyone free or to do whatever Bendy wants. She can consume ink hearts to unlock the spiral on her hand, unlocking better powers and abilities. But she will start taking a dark path. She can avoid eating the hearts to save with angels, but she will have less powers and abilities. It's likely that Allison will be a guide for the light path, and the scary unknown voice will be a guide for the dark path. If the player chooses light, Allison will mentor and teach her about the studio, warning her about the dangers of Bendy. If she chooses darkness, the unknown voice, might be Bendy as I said, will probably do the same thing, teaching her to worship Bendy and potentially luring her into Sammy's cult. Now, this makes sense, but it is being collected with like tiny fragments of info. And it's and anything, really anything you make about this game currently, because there's so little information, anything you say is just a very, very loose guess. I do want to inform you that. Anyway, part 2, the gameplay. Now, the gameplay is similar to another game I've heard of. It's called We Happy Few by Compulsion Games. This game, from what I've seen of Let's Play videos, I haven't actually played it. It works like this. So there's a drug called joy that you need to take, but you need to try not to take that drug, but it's like a world where they're forcing it onto you. You have to try not to consume your joy. And you fail if this joy meter goes to high, you fail. So basically, you need to you need to take as little joy as you can. But like some areas require you to take joy to access them, and the more joy you take, the less people will attack you, and you get the idea. It's a clever game idea. If you want to know more about this game, you can do your own research and watch videos. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's not family friendly, so do be careful. Anyway, this is how I think Dark Revival will work. Audrey can find hearts to unlock more powers, but they will lead her down a darker path. Both Allison and Mystery Guy will lead her down their respective paths. You might even get different endings depending on what path you choose. Allison and Mystery Guy might even give you missions to complete that will draw you to that site. We might even get weapon upgrades and things with Spider-Work. So, about those missions, if you consumed a lot of hearts, you're starting to regret that you consumed that many hearts, you can do missions for Allison to redeem yourself. But in the same way, you'd also lose Spider. So this game might make it hard for you by giving you some missions and sections that are so tough that you need to consume hearts to just be able to get through it all. Now, finally, let's look at the graphics. I kind of do that. Dark Revival will look much better graphically. The new Searcher, Piper, and all the Lost One models we can see in the trailers. They look so good. Even the Allison model, the new Audrey model, and just generally everything looks much better. I also noticed that in the first game, the ink is blue and Tom and Allison are also bluish. Bendy is not at all, however. Maybe this blue is a sign of a kind soul. So like the more demon path we go, maybe this blue color grade signifies that we're still on the angel path. That could be a possibility. Or it's just a visual thing. The animations are a lot better. You can see Audrey moving her hands. We can actually see our player's hands. There are a lot of mini cutscenes. Everything plays out much better. The ink is properly reflective. Everything is that. And yeah, there are a lot of more things that I could have talked about, but this video has been way too long. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. I hope you have enjoyed. This video has gone on for way too long. And yeah, I will see you later. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Comment below and tell me if you want more Bendy videos. I would love to do those. I'm probably going to do those. I also have planned what I'm going to do animations for the game. I will play the next game and make theories. I will do a lot of theories on this. But yeah, my computer's starting to run out of battery, and I think we've just about had enough time. So I hope to see you soon. Make sure you like and subscribe. That would be so awesome. And if you don't want to subscribe, at least like. It takes like 2 seconds. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all later. Bye bye.